Hi everyone, this is Ravi. Welcome to Tricentis Tosca mobile automation tutorial. As you all know, I have already published 4 YouTube videos related to mobile automation by using Tricentis Tosca. As part of those 4 YouTube videos, I have explained you how can we get started with Tricentis mobile agent and what are all the different features that are available in Tricentis mobile agent console. And in lesson 2, I have explained you how can we set up Android emulators and how can we install and download the Android Studio. And in lesson 3, we have prepared and connected the Android mobile device via USB and also via Wi-Fi. And then in previous lesson, I've showed you how can we scan Android mobile application by using mobile engine with Tricentis Tosca. So this is our lesson 5 where I'm going to teach you how can we automate our first mobile test case for Android devices. The agenda for today's session is I'm going to show you how can we create mobile test case to automate using Tricentis Tosca. I'm going to show you how can we use standard modules from mobile engine while automating your test cases, and we are going to take help of the configurations related to connections and the applications that we have established in our previous session. So I would recommend you guys to visit lesson 4 before you watch this session. And then we are going to use above pre-configured values which are coming from connections and applications during test case automation. So now, without delay, let us jump onto the system and let us automate our first mobile test case by using Tricentis Tosca. So this is my Tricentis Tosca. So in my previous lesson, I've showed you how can we scan the elements of a mobile native application by using Tricentis Tosca. When we are scanning the application like tip calculator, in our case we have scanned the elements of native application called tip calculator. So when we are scanning the application, we have performed some configurations. So we have established the connection by using local or remote connectivity, and also we have added the device, and then we have also added the application that we would like to scan, and then we have scanned the elements of the application. So these are the elements that we scanned in our previous lesson. As we scanned the application by using local connection and the device Samsung, so there are some configurations that were created automatically by Tricentis Tosca. What are those configurations? Go to your project and then expand this particular configurations. Under configurations, expand mobile section where you can see two configurations. One is applications, another one is connections. Applications showing you the tip calculator application because we have scanned the elements of tip calculator. That's why the configurations are created automatically by Tricentis Tosca while scanning the application. And another configuration is connections. So if you expand these connections, you can see a connection is already established. What are the connections? We have local connection as well as remote connection. So either you can use local connection or you can use remote connection. For both of them, there are some configurations that were automatically saved in Tricentis Tosca while scanning the application. So I'm going to use these two configurations, application related configurations and connection related configurations, while automating my test case. So these configurations are very important. Now let us go to test case section to create the test case. So under test case section, right click on test case folder and create a subfolder called mobile automation. Under this folder, I'm going to create my first test case. Right click on this folder and create test case. I'm going to name this as tip calculator basic test. And this is my test case name. Now, as soon as you create the test case, double click on this test case. One important thing is you need to configure the test configuration parameters. We need to first provide the test configuration parameters. How can you go to test configuration parameters? Select the test case. Under test case, there are three different tabs: details, test configurations, control flow diagram. So you need to navigate to test configuration. So here I need to now create the test configurations for my mobile testing. How can we create that? For that, let's drag this mobile automation project and put it at the right side. Okay, let me close the module section here. Now in the left side I have test case section, right side I have project tab. Under project tab I have configurations, right? So now first I would like to use my application configurations. What is the application that we are automating? Tip calculator is the application. So now I'm going to drag these configurations and drop onto my test case configurations. So as I explained you earlier, these configurations are created while scanning our elements by using Tricentis Tosca in our previous lesson. Refer my lesson 4. So this is my application related configuration, which shows application ID and some other inherent properties. Okay, like application ID, application platform, and application type. Apart from application configurations, I'll be using the connections configurations as well. So in my case, I would like to use remote connection because my Samsung device is connected to my remote machine. So I'm going to drag and drop the connection related configurations onto my test case configurations. So if you see here, this is my remote connection. This is my TMA server, that is Tricentis mobile agent server, and then type is TMA. Okay, so these two configurations you need to map to the test case before even you start automating the test case, because these are the preconditions for you to execute your test case on mobile device which is connected to your Tricentis mobile agent. Apart from these two configurations, there is another test configuration that you need to set, that is device name. Right click on this, create a new test configuration parameter. As soon as I type device, it is pre-populating the device name, right? Select the device name. And what is your device name? My device name is a unique ID of your device. Where can I see that unique ID? I can see the unique ID in my Tricentis mobile agent. For that, go to your Tricentis mobile agent, right click, open console, and then here scroll down and click on configure devices. So this is a device which is connected to my remote machine. If you see here, there is a field called UDID. This represents your unique ID for your device. If you have multiple devices, the UDID will be unique for each device. So for my device, this is my UDID. Copy this one and you need to provide this UDID as device name. paste it here. So this is my device name. And now save the test case. So what we have done, we have first created an empty test case, and then for this test case we have created some test configurations. What are those? I have mapped the application related test configuration, which is tip calculator test configuration, by dragging and dropping onto test configurations. And then I have also mapped the connections related configurations. I have dragged and dropped onto my tip calculator basic test configuration test case, right? And then I've also created a new TCP test configuration parameter called device name, and the name I have copied from Tricentis mobile agent console. I've copied UDID and I pasted the same UDID here. So here we have completed all test configuration related steps. Now our next step is to automate the test case. Now to open any application, to open native application in your mobile, you need to use a standard module. What is that standard module? Let's open module section, and here go to standard modules, expand T-box engine, and then go to your mobile. Under mobile you can see one standard module called open mobile application. So whenever you automate your mobile related test cases, this will be your first step. You need to use open mobile app standard module. Okay, so let's close this one. So to add the open mobile app standard module, you can add from here also. How can I do that? Right click on this test case, search and add test step. Here I can type open mobile app. So this is my open mobile app. Select that one. Here under application, you need to provide the full path of application, or you can directly use your test configuration. So if you see here, the test configuration related to application is already created while scanning our application. So I would like to use this test configuration parameter. What is that? Application ID, because this application ID consists of the full path of my APK file. So here, to use your test configurations, you need to open curly braces, CP, and then CP open square braces, and you can see here all the test configurations whatever we created here are showing you. So here I'm going to select application ID. So this is my test configuration. Close square braces and close curly braces. So this is my application ID which is coming from my test configurations. So once I open the application, what is my next step? My next step is to perform action. What is that? So let me show you what I'm going to do here. First, I'm going to open the tip calculator. So this is my tip calculator. Once I open the tip calculator, I need to enter the base price. And then once I enter the base price, based on the tip, it's going to calculate the total price. I need to verify this total price. So that is the scenario that we would like to automate. And we have already scanned the related objects or elements in our previous lesson. I'm going to use the same elements now. Okay. For that, let's open module and let's keep this module aside. Okay. What I'm going to do, bring it to right side. Okay. Now I would like to use the same module that we scanned earlier. So what I'm doing now, I'm dragging and dropping onto my test case. So now once I open the application, here I'm going to name this step as validate the total price. So here under base text box, I need to enter 2000. So here I'm going to say 2000 and my action mode should be input. So once that is done, now I would like to calculate the total price here. So my total price is 2300. But here I would like to use the action mode as verify because I am calculating the total price including the tip, right? And now save your test case. So what I want to do, so now what I would like to do, I would like to run this particular test case and see if it works correctly. So now let me run this particular test case. Right click and run in Scratchbook. Let's open the mobile here. So you can see what are all the actions that is performed by Tricentis Tosca in mobile screen. In right side mobile mirror. So now see, it is installing the APK file first. Tip calculator APK file. Now it opened the APK and it entered 2000 and now it is calculating total price 2300. Let's see why the test case got failed. Okay, let's open this one. It says your total price is expected value is 2300 but actually is 2300.00. So let me do one thing. Let me change the value to .00. Okay, let's save the test case and now again let me run the test case one more time. Right click and run in Scratchbook. So whenever you run the test case, it always installs the APK file first and then it performs the test case actions. So now enter 2000, validate the total price. Now it should pass. So now you can see your test case is passed. So here I have entered the value and now expected value is 2300 and your actual value is 2300. So we are able to validate or we are able to interact with my Samsung mobile device and I am able to open the native application and I am able to interact with that native application to perform some actions and to validate my test case. So in the same way, if you are using any virtual device, as I explained you in my lesson 2 or lesson 3, if you are using Android Studio and if you created Android virtual device, it's going to show Android virtual device as well along with your Samsung real device, right? The only change what you need to make is if you want to interact with some other device, you just need to change your UDID. If you go here now into the Tricentis Tosca, all the configurations remain same, but your device name is gonna change. So let me do one thing. Let me execute the same test case in Android Studio or in Android virtual device instead of my real Samsung device. So this is my Android Studio. Let us go to Android Virtual Device Manager. I have explained you all these things in my previous lessons. Now let me start my first virtual device. Let's run this virtual device. So this is my Android emulator or my Android virtual device. So this is my Pixel virtual device. So now to run my test cases in Android emulator or virtual device, all we need to do is let us open Tricentis mobile agent. So now you can see there are two mobiles that are displaying here. One is my previous real device and another one is you can see Medium Phone Ravi API. So if you see my virtual device name also Medium Phone Ravi API. So that means I can see two mobile devices in my Tricentis mobile agent. Now What is my unique ID for this virtual device? This is my unique ID. Copy this one. And now let's go to Tricentis Tosca. Here, I would like to change the device name to emulator-5554. This is my emulator unique ID. So if I run the test case now, right click and run in Scratchbook. Now your test case should run on Android emulator. So let us see how it works. So you can see here it is installing APK file, and then it should open your tip calculator application. Yes, so it is entering the value 2000 and now it is validating the total price. So you can see here our test steps are passed. You can see my total price is 2300 and actual price is 2300. So that means we are able to execute our test case in Android emulator, as well as we were able to execute our test case in Samsung real device as well. So if you have any queries, leave your queries in the comment box. I'll try to respond to your queries. Thank you. Hope you all understand today's concepts. How can we automate our first mobile test case for Android device, where we have created a new test case and then we have performed the test case configuration parameters. We have actually mapped the connections and the application configurations that we created while scanning the modules in our earlier lesson. And then once we complete the test case configurations, then we have automated our test case by using standard modules and the modules that we have scanned in earlier session. Please do subscribe to the channel, click on bell icon. You'll receive notifications whenever I publish more videos. Don't forget to like and share the video. Thank you.